Ohana means state custody.
And following your own dreams, regardless.
Who needs Ohana when you got full ride scholarships?
Exactly. Welcome to Full Time Movie Fans. It's us again. Your favorite movie reviewers on the internet.
I'm White Savior Michael.
And I'm just half Asian Jarvis. So that's my connection to Lilo and Stitch.
Is that your half Asian?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I was darker, I could be mistaken for maybe Pacific Islander.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Almost Samoan-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't.
If I put on like another 100 pounds.
I wear Hawaiian shirts and look like a tourist, and that's pretty much my vibe.
If I shaved all my facial hair off and got some tribal tattoos,
you'd be hot.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of attached to the beard.
Oh, that's fine. A lot of Samoans have beards.
It's attached to me. So
it is, yeah. Physically attached.
Yeah. So, guys, I mean, Disney's got to know by now, right? Stop doing the thing.
We're talking about Lilo and Stitch, the new one, by the way, not the old one.
Well, we're going to talk about both. I think we can talk about both of them. I think it's impossible to talk about one without talking about the other.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you could just talk about the first one, but you can't talk about the live action one without talking about the original.
I love Lilo and Stitch, the originals.
I mean,
this one was also not bad.
It's not horrible. You still get some of those good feelings. You know what I mean?
It's not Snow White. That one was bad. That one was spoilers for anybody who didn't see Snow White. That one was bad. Unfortunately, too. I was hoping it wouldn't be.
Yeah, I did not watch that one. I was like, I already knew it was going to be not good. How much money do you have a fun fact about Snow White? Do you know how much money they lost on that one?
A lot.
I think I heard that Snow White was from insiders that Snow White was the one that was the nail in the coffin, and they're just like, yeah, you know what? Maybe we just stop making these live actions.
I think there's more so a problem with the Disney executives being like, these are our properties, and our properties mean that we know what's best for them. So you have to listen to us and not take your creative decisions and have to take ours.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
That's their, yeah. I mean, look what they did with Star Wars. We got The Rise of Skywalker.
So the budget for Snow White was $250 million, and it grossed 205.
Oof, big oofs.
Have you ever lost $50 million before, Travis?
My brain can't even comprehend $50 million right now, to be honest with you.
But I'm starting to be a little disillusioned to these big Hollywood budgets because of the things that I've been learning about how they function with their money. So I don't know how much of that is actual cost and how much of that's inflated cost. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, because some of the best movies that we've seen and even reviewed in our front have had low budgets. And
like Lady Bird was 10 mil.
Yeah.
Whereas something vaguely similar, but not extremely, Thunderbolts was mostly practical effects.
Yeah.
Was still 200 mil or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But I mean, but
that's the difference of involving CGI and having I don't know. It's the scale of stuff too. Doing a human story is a lot easier.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
So.
But again, they probably lost more, if we're being honest. Because the inflated cost is the amount of money that the movie itself.
Right. Well, you taught us that. Cost. You taught us about, because one of the things we see the box office numbers, but that doesn't account for where the money that goes to the theaters.
Yeah. Or the loans that the production took from the studios that aren't really loans, but they're loans.
Yeah. And then advertisement budgets are usually not included.
So it was probably a lot more.
Yeah.
It was probably a lot more.
Yeah. All the press checks and stuff they did for Snow White is just a waste of money.
Yeah, and they also started it way too soon. They needed to start advertising that movie like super late in the game.
Yeah. Well, if anything, I've heard a lot of people just happy that Disney is like, yeah, we're going to stop making live action movies.
I think that's for the best.
Yeah, because it's just one of those things like why try to touch something that's already just perfect the way it is? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're 5 minutes in, so I can use the phrase masturbatory.
There we go.
That's what live action is. Live action versions of animated movies for me are just that for Disney.
Yeah. Since we're also 5 minutes into this, spoiler alert for the remake of the movie that we've all seen.
Lilo and Stitch. So what are your first impressions of Lilo and Stitch, Jarvis?
The original?
No, just this new one.
This is one of those ones that when I saw the trailers, I was actually pretty excited. I was like, oh, this one actually is one that I might want to, that I'm kind of excited to go see. You know what I mean? Like, I do want to see, like, Stitch looked good. I mean, they got the cutest girl possible to play Lilo.
They truly did. She's so good.
Oh, she's like
the best thing about the movie by far.
She's so good. She's so good. And so watching the trailers, I was like, okay, maybe they did it. And I was pretty excited about Lilo and Stitch. When I saw it, I still had a good time. Like, but it's one of those things where, again, you're in a situation where you've got such good source material. It's just hard for the live action to live up. There's just so many more things you can do with animation than you can in real life. And
like I was telling you yesterday when we were hanging out, that it's
you see, guys,
in animating, it's the suspension of disbelief. It's a lot easier to be like, oh yeah, that's a thing that's just happening in front of me, than it is with live action.
You heard it, internet. Sometimes we hang out outside of this stuff. So
yeah, and Clint's real.
He's yeah. Yeah, someday maybe. I don't know.
We hang out and Clint's real.
Both of those things are true.
These are crazy things that are revelations for this podcast, just so you all know.
Yeah, if this is your first time tuning in, that you won't get the joke about it, but that's why you should go back and watch all of our other stuff. We've got tons of videos up.
And subscribe and log into your parents' account and subscribe.
Yeah,
and then make accounts for your unborn children and subscribe. Help
us out. We're not gonna play that the YouTube thing that says, hey, I'm just a small time creator and leave a like so that I'm trying to be a big star one day. But we would appreciate your likes. If you watch and you have a good time.
I also appreciate your dislikes. And if you disagree with us or think we're both gross looking humans, put it in the comments.
I feel like this is going to be one that's not too controversial, though.
Yeah,
I feel like the whole world is pretty unanimous.
We have similar takes as the rest of the internet. Well, yeah. You and I both agree that it's an okay movie.
Yeah, I might lean more towards I liked it than maybe the masses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. But Lilo and Stitch, it's a beloved, well, as you said, Disney just sees it as IP. But these are the stories that like shaped our childhoods. You know what I mean? And I think that's why it's so hard to watch, some of these remakes, because it's like, dude, you're disrespecting my childhood. How dare you?
Well, sometimes I like to go back and rewatch things, without my nostalgia goggles on. You know what I'm talking about? You're like, is this actually good or was I a child?
Yeah.
And more often than not, the Disney movies of old are actually just good.
Yeah, because you can watch them at any stage and appreciate the story and the deeper meanings behind it, take something from it.
Yeah.
And then you find there's some jokes in here for adults that the kids miss, but now that I'm adult, I can appreciate. So
for sure. So that's, yeah. Anyways, my first impressions, thanks for asking.
Yeah, please, Michael.
I was cautiously optimistic because I knew a couple of things going in about Gantu not being there. Rest in peace, Gantu. My shark boy that I love so much.
He's the shark boy to your lava girl.
Yeah. Call me lava girl because I'm missing that shark boy.
Michael, a.k.a. lava girl.
I knew Jumbo didn't have a Russian accent anymore. and it was just Zach Galifianakis.
Do you think that was a political move to not demonize Russia?
It was. Have you watched any of the interviews?
Some. Just mainly the director defending his decisions.
Yeah. Well, and did you watch the one where the director was like, "Yeah, some of these weren't my decisions. They were forced on me."
Oh, really?
Like Blakely not wearing a dress was not his choice. It was the studio's choice because they said cross-dressing is controversial.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago. 15 years ago.
Same reason why Jumba doesn't have an accent is because a non-native Russian person having a Russian accent is problematic.
You know what? I'm tired of people changing stuff for those types of reasons when, like, it doesn't, especially in such a fictional story. And you know what else that leads me to is Netflix's version of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action. And they're changing the fact that Sokka was like a little bit
sexist.
Yeah,
not even a little bit. Have you rewatched it recently?
I don't have to.
Sokka like straight up is like, no, you're a girl, which means you're weaker. Like
until he had a girl, Sokka,
5 or 6 episodes.
Yeah, until he had some badass girl Sokka him in the face.
Yeah, and then he realized that he's not that cool.
Yeah, but like that's part of his character growth, and it's
important. It's so important.
Yeah, in fact, what's her name, Tylee, when she does all the pressure points on him and he's just flopping around, is one of the funniest parts of the show for me.
Yeah,
him just like not being able to use his arm. But it's character development. I mean, not so much in Lilo
and you're
and
just
Stitch.
getting rid of it. Well, I mean, it's part of what made Jumba the character, and people can blame Star Wars for this of like using other like world accents for alien races.
I blame Star Wars for a lot of the bad things in my life.
That's fair. George Lucas, who I will always claim is not a great filmmaker, but a brilliant businessman. Yeah, so smart as a businessman.
We've talked about it. Guys, you can check out our Star Wars episodes. We have several of those, but we talk about that he's not really good at dialogue and writing necessarily, but his world building is insane. Like,
well, I also learned that he took some toy companies for a ride when the prequels were coming out, and got like such a good deal off of things. Oh my, that man's actually like a genius.
Yeah,
but not in the ways that he wishes he was.
True. So, Disney execs were just like, yeah, no Russian accent, no dress.
Yeah, and that causes some issues with me because it's like the Sonic's face all over again.
Ooh,
but because it's not the name of the movie character, they think that it's like fine to just do it like that, which I get, but at the same time, and the fact that Jumba is just Zach Galifianakis for like half of the movie also helps my brain a bit because I was like, it's easier to listen to him when it's like just him.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking at big alien guy that's supposed to have an accent.
Yeah. It's funny because I got made fun of as a kid for being 4 eyes, but he actually has 4 eyes. So
yeah, and Blakely has 1.
Yeah, Mike Wazowski also has 1.
Yeah.
Do you think they would be friends?
So I'm gonna continue.
Sure.
With Jarvis not sidetracking me anymore.
I'll make a poll and put it up.
We're gonna have. At some point, we're going to have like a Patreon version that's like a 2-hour long recording, and it's just going to be me not cutting out all of Jarvis's tangents.
Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to just attach mics to a set of recording as soon as I show up. And
it's going to be him going, hey, can I put this in the fridge? So what did you think of this movie we're about to talk about?
The stuff that you guys have been waiting for, asking us for. We're listening.
Anyways, I was worried that Lilo was going to be bad, but she was actually probably like the best thing to happen in the entire movie, and she was perfectly cast.
So good.
It's called Lilo and Stitch, but it's actually just Nani gives her sister up for adoption, the movie. Because they decided Nani was the main character, I guess. Yep, that was my impression. Every part of the movie that was Lilo and Stitch was great, and every part of the movie that was not could have been better.
Yeah. I mean, it's par for the course for Disney right now. I feel like just ruining the perfect things that we loved about Disney in our adulthood.
Yeah.
So this one's, now we've said this before, this one probably will be a shorter episode just because it's pretty simple and we'll get to the end pretty quickly, but you want to start breaking down the movie?
Yeah, so a long time ago in a galaxy kind of not that far away, and by long ago I mean like a couple weeks ago, movie time.
Yeah. And by far away, it's like what? Several hundred, or is it in the thousands of miles away?
It's probably
Several
in the
hundred.
light years away. Multiple light years.
Well, from where we are to Hawaii, I mean.
Oh, yeah, it's a few thousand miles.
Okay, there you go.
So Zach Galifianakis makes an adorable little monster that likes to swear. And because of that, he must be eliminated from existence, both of them.
Yeah, a little force of destruction called Stitch.
Yeah, and Stitch, instead of being captured to be destroyed or not, and just like thrown off into the depths of space, steals a police car, and a police car is a spaceship. And just in case you didn't know, Jarvis.
Oh, thank you.
And he crashes on Hawaii. Meanwhile, on land, but not the mainland,
No.
in the better lands, in my opinion. Have you been to Hawaii before, Jarvis?
No, I have not.
It is beautiful.
That's what I've heard. Maybe someday.
Maybe someday. We'll shoot the follow-up episode of this in Hawaii.
We should have shot this in Hawaii.
Yeah. We'll do it next time, whenever the full-time movie fans pay for it.
We could be on location.
Oh, that's what we'll call it. We'll call it full-time movie fans on location.
That'll be for the members only in the Patreon.
Yeah. We'll be wearing Speedos.
So you definitely want to tune in for that.
Definitely want to tune in for that. So, we're introduced to our main character, Nani, who is working a day job and taking care of her little sister. And she's getting off work and trying to make it to her little sister Lilo's hula recital. But car doesn't start. She's running late. She doesn't make it on time. And she can't even pick Lilo up because she's not there. So she drives home and the door's locked. And Lilo won't let her in. Lilo's a adorable little monster.
Yeah. Well, did we already... we've already seen the fact that she's also getting bullied and the other kids don't really like her that much, right?
Yes. But this isn't about Lilo. This is about Nani.
Well, I think it's important to talk about how Lilo's...
Okay, Lilo's not very popular.
Because she's kind of a weird kid.
Yeah, she's a little chaotic menace.
Yeah. And also I want to point out that they try to set up Ohana as not just meaning your immediate family, but also your neighbors potentially.
Yeah, your neighbor that very point blank says, "Hey, you should give your sister up to the States so that you can follow your dreams and go to a marine biology school in Tennessee."
I think they should merge,
or San Diego. I don't remember.
I think they should merge Lilo and Stitch with 50 First Dates. Because she's in both the neighbors in both of the movies. She
bad advice.
Yeah, she owns that little diner where Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore's character meet, and they build the little Waffle House. Have you not seen 50 First Dates?
Not in a long time.
She owns the little diner that they meet at.
Okay.
So I thought it would be funny if that's she's still the same person.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny, I think.
Well, we'll do it in the remake of Lilo and Stitch.
Okay.
Sound good?
The extended universe.
Oh, the Lilo and Stitch cinematic universe.
Yeah,
The LSCU.
there we go.
So Nani's trying to break into the house, but the social worker arrives at the same time. It's like the original movie. If you've seen the original movie, it's kind of like that, except, very heavy-handed on the you should probably, like, give your sister up and go to school. Ohana means doing what you want with your life and not caring about your family. But it's okay because you have a portal gun. We'll get to that part. Have you played Portal?
No, but
Great game.
Portals, yeah. Portals are fun.
The social worker sees how chaotic everything is like, look, it's going up to my supervisor. If you can get these things done in the next couple of weeks, you can keep your sister. Otherwise, I'm taking her. And Nani goes, okay. And then they have a cute little moment where Lilo goes, I like you a lot more as a sister than a mom. Their parents are dead, by the way.
Most Disney parents don't make it to adulthood.
It's also crazy for them to say because they mention it like 5 or 6 times a minute.
Yeah, there's always a picture of them in the background somewhere.
And they were the best parents.
I think, you know what, I think that would have been funny.
Parents.
I think that would have been funny if they made that like an Easter egg. They just put the photos of their families like everywhere in every scene, just in the background somewhere.
Yeah.
Just to remind you about family.
And then
speaking of Ohana, I think they should do a crossover with Fast and the Furious.
I'm going to cut your mic off soon.
Just like Disney cut all the good stuff out of Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, yes. So a spaceship falls from the sky. You know what other movie has a spaceship? Interstellar. That's a movie about corn. And Lilo thinks that it's a shooting star falling out of the sky. You know what other movie has a shooting star in it, Jarvis?
Okay, I'm reading you loud and clear. I'm just going to get out.
I'm going to get you one of these little things, but it's just going to have sound effects.
Womp womp. You're going to put that after every time I make a joke.
No, you're going to put that after every time you make a joke.
Womp womp womp.
So Lilo wishes for an angel to be her best friend, the nicest one that they could ever get.
There's angels
in the outfield.
We talk about they're in the outfield.
In the outfield. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, this has been full-time movie.
This has been what are we?
5-time movie friends.
Fast and Furious friends.
She prays to the angels.
And the angels give her a little blue monster that likes chaos. But he gets put into a dog pound, and she adopts him. I am glossing over like small little bits here, but they're not like massive things. David shows up at some point and says that he loves Nani, and in very intimate ways.
Put it in the comments if you love Nani.
I love animated Nani.
Everyone does.
That's not a hot take. So she gets the little blue monster, and Nani goes, "No, we can't do that. I have to do all of these things," and end up bringing them to work. For some reason, that wasn't actually clarified. Just not leaving her at home by herself like she usually does. But yeah, they go to work, and Stitch catches a table on fire, and Nani gets fired for that because that's obviously her fault, right?
Yeah, that seemed a little bogus.
Yeah, and so now she must take Lilo and Stitch to go job hunting because she needs to have a job, because she needs to get health insurance for when they eventually, like, that was a very that was a heavy point.
Yeah,
they need health insurance.
You need to do this. Like this.
Yeah,
is,
it was like you got to clean the house, you got to do laundry, you got to get health insurance. Those are the important things in life.
Yeah, those are the 3 things. Not in that level of importance, not in that order, but
all 3 of those things.
Right, but use your brain to figure out which one of those is the most important.
Yeah. So Nani has to find another job.
I do want to make a point of, I think one of my favorite scenes is when Stitch is in the high chair at the restaurant, and David's like, "Is that actually a dog?" And she kind of looks over at Stitch, and she's, as the cutest kid ever, just says, looks over, thinks about it, and says, "Yeah." And Stitch is just like
It is
angry.
That was another one of those cute moments from the originals.
Yeah, that's
So
she executed that scene well.
Yeah, it was very good. So she gets denied from all the jobs because Lilo is at the same time trying to teach Stitch how to not be bad. It's pretty much, and this is another one of those like things that irked me a little bit, was that it was just framed as, you're bad, you need to be more good. And then he just went, yeah, sounds reasonable to me. Gotta be more good. Whereas in the original, it was like, hey, you're lashing out. It's probably because you don't really feel like you fit in, but like, we're your family and we love and care about you. Yeah. Is the whole ugly duckling thing just got ripped out of the story.
And Ohana means that we'll only leave you when it benefits us.
Ohana means family, and family means if you get a full ride scholarship to the school of your dreams, you'd leave them.
You get to say, well, see you later.
So Nani gets a job teaching surfing lessons, which is actually something she loves to do. Yeah. And on the first day out, Stitch wants to go, but he's also a very heavy boy when he gets into water and drowns. That's like his only weakness.
I'm also a pretty heavy boy, but I float.
Yeah, I do like a half and half. I like to float, but I also like to sink. We'll figure it out eventually. And Jumba and Pleakley, which, by the way, they've been a part of this the whole time. They're supposed to be trying to hunt down Stitch, or very aggressive about it while they're surfing. Oh, yeah. And causes them to crash, and Stitch tries to not drown by using Lilo as a flotation device, which causes Lilo to kind of drown a little bit, but not like drown.
Yeah. I concur.
Like, they bring her to shore and she spits up water and they're like, get an ambulance. Get an ambulance right now.
She's already doing the thing that they wanted to do, which is breathing.
Right. And so this brings them to the hospital where Nani's freaking out and worried about Lilo. And the nurse walks out and was like, yeah, she asked if she could do something. I don't remember. And she was like, oh, okay, everything's fine then. And then the social worker who was there was like, hey, this is why you needed the health insurance. And Nani's like, I don't have the ability to pay for any of this. And the social worker's like, well, the state could pay for it all if you sign your rights away to your sister.
Yeah. And that was the very realistic part of, in the real world, like, healthcare is expensive, and
that was realistic. Yeah, immediately when they were like, "Hey, we got to get an ambulance," I did lean over to Sybil and I said, "In this economy?
Oh no, yeah, oh no."
So you're spitting up water. You're fine.
She needs a job first.
So Nani decides that she's going to give Lilo up, but kind of chickens out of telling Lilo that. And then Stitch gets it in his head that he's ruining the entire family, so he tries to run away.
Where did he get that idea from?
I don't remember.
David said it to Stitch. He was like, things have only gotten worse since you got here.
Yeah, which isn't true, because it was already bad.
Agreed.
So, they then move on to the part where Stitch is being aggressively hunted down. And the day that Lilo is supposed to be taken away by social services, Lilo isn't in her room that morning because Stitch ran away, and she's trying to go look for Stitch.
Because she understands that Ohana means family, and nobody lets
and family means,
well, see you later.
Social services pays for your medical bills if your family can't.
Yeah.
So Lilo finds Stitch back at the pound, and then Jumba also finds them at the pound, and a brawl ensues with a portal gun from the game Portal, like almost exactly the way that it functions. That was not in the original series, as far as I can remember. And and Stitch steals the portal gun. They get out. Blah blah blah. Jumba starts trying to burn the house down. When they get back to the house, Jumba's just kind of overall kind of a dick. and then shoots a portal onto a spaceship and steals Stitch, and decides that he's going to change him into 627. But that doesn't actually happen, and Lilo and Stitch both thwart his things on the spaceship, and he gets ejected into the ocean. And then they crash into the ocean, where Stitch drowns again, and Lilo gets rescued by David and Nani, and then Nani sea walks
Just
Stitch
like their
back
mom.
to the
Like their mom.
Yeah, and her, had a
She
thing
did
where
that
she
training
learned
too?
about it. Yeah, that was part of why she got the full ride scholarship, was because she was able to
She was a good sea walker.
walk on the ocean floor for a long period of time.
So like when they asked her, they were like, when she was filling out her applications, they were like, "What's your name?" And she's like, "Nani." "What's your last name?" And she was like, "Sea Walker."
Yeah, that was a Skywalker joke. If you didn't catch it,
You didn't like that one?
it was a high level one.
Nani Sea Walker.
But okay. Hey, he's here all week, folks.
This is what you come here for. Hope.
This is what you come here for. And then the alien lady who is part of the
Intergalactic Council of whatever.
Yeah.
Something or other.
Yeah, comes in and goes, "I got to take this dangerous monster away, unless you've learned to love." And Stitch goes, yes, this is my family. I love them. And she goes, "Okay, well, your sentence is exile here on the planet Earth for all eternity." And everyone goes, "Yay!"
And then Nani was like, "See you later."
And then Nani does still give Lilo away to the state. But the thing is it doesn't matter, because she gets adopted by the neighbor who could have just helped take care of her the whole time.
The whole time.
So like, and then Nani's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go off and also be able to FaceTime you or whatever." But they got the portal gun, so like, there's no stakes to this whole movie.
You know what interested me is that the house that Nani and Lilo lived in was huge.
Oh yeah, and
David
very fun.
David and the neighbor could have just moved in, and that they could have sold their house and made some money, and that could be the new house, and they all could have just been a family together in Ohana without any of the craziness.
Yeah, without any of the weird colonial overtones of trying to drive the natives away from their families.
Yeah. How do you like your Lilo and Stitch with colonial overtones?
I love, oh my God, let me tell you something. Me as a white man, I love colonial overtones.
He wakes up in the mornings every day for the colonial overtones.
I've got a picture of George Washington right next to my bathroom mirror just so I can remember where we came from.
It's big enough to where he puts his face on top of Washington's face.
And I kiss it.
Yeah.
That's Lilo and Stitch. That's the movie Lilo and Stitch, 2025.
Thanks, Disney.
So, Jarvis, what interesting things do you know about this movie?
I don't know any interesting things other than what the director said that he was trying to do on some of the stuff. I only watched one of them where he was just like, Shark Boy was no good. We didn't really see a need for him. I mean, I kind of follow his logic with Nani, you know what I mean? Like, he wanted to give her some kind of happy ending, but I do see the point. Like, it did kind of fly in the face of like what the original movie was. It was pretty let me put it this way, ass backwards on that. You know
original Nani would have punched a social worker for saying that the state could cover the health insurance.
And you know what else is kind of crazy is the fact that we have the internet and that there's such things as online schools. That she could have got a degree in literally almost anything.
Sybil did bring up a good point that the best schools for marine biology are in Hawaii, and any Hawaii local gets into them for free.
Yeah. Weird that they didn't know that.
It's a weird choice for them to. Weird for them to not bring that up in the movie. $100 million is the estimated budget for this movie. It has made $400 million so far. So obviously they have not learned their lesson.
Well, that was actually crazy because the opening weekend, I think the 4-day weekend was like, wasn't it like 183?
148.
148. So there was an 8 somewhere in there.
There was an 8 somewhere in there.
Yeah. So that's kind of crazy. That's actually really good for, I mean, all things considered. Like when you consider Snow White and how that
Snow
did.
White was just really bad. And I think it's because they brought in a lot of the people who worked on the original movie to make sure that like it kept the integrity
There was
whatever was
still
going
a lot
on.
of controversial stuff too with the 7 dwarves and like.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I don't know if I ever told you this, but my favorite thing about the new Snow White movie is all 7 of the dwarves are CG.
Yeah.
Right? There is one actor who plays a bandit.
Yeah.
Who is, I don't remember the correct political term. Is it little people?
Little people.
Great. He is a little person.
In the movie.
But not CG.
Disney, what are you doing, man?
And it's the funniest thing to look at because you're like, it's like it's like saying we're gonna do a live action version of Jarvis's life, and put a CG Jarvis in there, but also put a non-CG Jarvis in there. But the CG Jarvis is like 3 times the size, and like all your facial features are super exaggerated.
Oh my gosh, I hope not. I hope they help me lose a few pounds and put some abs on me. And they can fill my bank account while they're at it.
But that's the thing. They didn't do that.
No, they didn't do that. They didn't do that for anybody. And they also didn't do that for the newest Willy Wonka movie too, with Timothy Chalamet.
Oh yeah, they didn't.
That was country. They didn't hire little people for that.
No,
they hired
Deep Roy was not a part of it.
Yeah, they hired a normal sized person in Hugh Grant.
And Hugh Grant being the choice for that is also crazy.
Yeah, I think
we'll talk about that one day.
We kind of talked about this a little bit, but I don't think little people get enough representation in Hollywood.
I think Hugh Grant gets too much representation in Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
he's kind of a pompous dude.
You didn't like Heretic?
No, I also did not like him in Wonka, but I thought it was really funny how he's a serious actor who had to play an Oompa Loompa while Timothy Chalamet, the lead actor in that movie, runs around and he's like, yeah, man, I just do what I think sounds fun.
That's the kind of life I'm trying to have. I just go around and do the things that I find fun.
And that's why I think Timothy Chalamet went from the kind of cringe, he's in this again, to like, yeah, you know what? Hell yeah. I'll go watch another Timothy Chalamet movie.
He got some points with you for that.
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially because he was like doing Dune and whatever, and people were like, "Why are you in Wonka?" And he said, "I thought it'd be fun."
Yeah, that's confidence right there.
You know, it wasn't fun. Child Protective Services.
Yeah, they were kind of annoying. They were very aggressive
and very pushy the whole time. They were trying to make them out like the good guy, bad guy. Like trying to give Nani all of the advice from the beginning. It's just
which was clean up, get some groceries, and get some health care.
Yeah, or else.
Yeah,
you don't forget the or else.
Yeah, or else your neighbor will take your sister, and then you'll get to live your dreams. I'm
gonna give my arbitrary rating. I don't.
Yeah, let's do this, guys.
I'm gonna rate it. Watch it on Disney Plus when it comes out if you really want to. But like, there's no reason. Just watch the original movie. That's the rating. Watch the original.
Let me ask you a quick question before I completely 100% agree with you.
Hypothetical question.
Do you think that Lilo and Stitch should have been like the Lady and the Tramp live action, where they just released it on Disney Plus?
I did not even know there was a Lady and the Tramp live action.
There is.
So yes, the answer is yes.
I mean, I guess from a financial standpoint, they're doing pretty good with it. You know what I mean?
I've been looking at the live actions from Disney as a way for them to intentionally lose money for a while.
How maybe you could look this up. We'll give this as a fun fact, and then we're gonna piece out of this review. How do you know? Let me see if you can figure out how many of the Disney live action remakes actually made money.
Oh man,
because it's probably a small number. So while he does that, guys, like I just want to hear, were you as upset about Lilo and Stitch, the changes that they made, leaving out Shark Boy, the dress, Nani goes to college, all those things? Like, did you hate that? Were you okay with it? Do you agree with the masses as well as us, or do you disagree? Because like I said, I think we both agree, like it's good. There's still some good feelings, good vibes you get from it. Like you said, it's fun to watch Lilo and Stitch, and all of their scenes are great. But overall, it's one of those things where, yeah, I watched it. It was okay, but it didn't.
All right, I'm going to count. I'm going to count anything under 100 mil, or sorry, 200 mil of box office flop, just because it doesn't. I don't have the how much it cost numbers.
Okay, and these are the live actions.
Yeah, these are the ones that bombed. 101 Dalmatians, Dumbo, the Maleficent movie, the Cruella movie, Alice Through the Looking Glass, Pete's Dragon, 102 Dalmatians, Jungle Book, the re-release of The Beauty and the Beast from 2020, because that one made a lot of money, but the re-release did not, and Mulan.
Also, we can add Snow White.
Yeah, we can add Snow White in there for sure.
Yeah. So the track record's not.
It's like 50-50 is what it looks like right now.
Yeah.
Which is not something you want.
Yeah,
when you've released like 20 of them.
They're really getting close to M. Night Shyamalan levels of good to bad ratio.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. M. Night made like one or two really like breakthrough movies.
Yeah.
And then went, what if I did that with all my stories where everything has a weird twist that no one sees coming?
Yeah, sometimes in his movies you could tell like decisions were made just for the twist, and it doesn't really make the movie better.
Yeah, like he had an idea that was like, what if this guy's a soldier in his real life, but in his brain he's always been a mind soldier, and everyone goes, what does that mean? M. Night, what's a mind soldier?
I wish Disney would just get together and just be like, oh man, what if we left our beloved, amazing IPs alone and didn't make them into trash movies?
What if we made a movie that the Disneyland and Disney World parks were people with feelings, and
no, that'll be a Pixar movie.
And they follow me here.
Okay, oh, here we go. This is the pitch.
They are trying to continue to make more money.
Disney, buy that idea from them.
We'll call it From Park to Planet.
Oh, shoot.
See it here, save it there.
Man.
That's a SeaWorld quote.
Oh, is it? Well, guys, I think we've had enough of Disney remakes. I think we can just say that wait for Disney Plus, but you might as well just rewatch the original because it's so good and perfect. Just rewatch the original.
Real.
I did that. I rewatched the original before I went to watch the live action, and it's definitely one of those movies I was like, you know what? I should have just watched the original again and not spent money on this one.
The original is much more of a feel-good movie.
Yeah.
This one's a lot more of a oh, look, there's people.
The live action is like, Ohana sometimes means family where you don't get left behind.
Ohana means let's be reasonable with our expectations.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully you'll leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Put a comment if you want us, if there's a movie you would like us to review. We do take movie requests. And I hope your day's everything you dreamed it before. We'll catch your day's everything you dreamed it would be and more, and we'll catch you in the next one.
I can't wait for the sequel to this one called Little Orphan Annie, where they rename Lilo to Annie so that the people on the mainland will adopt her.
Also, Stitch gets put up for adoption.
Actually, Stitch gets a bite report and put down.
As if they couldn't destroy our childhoods anymore.
Hey, full-time MFers, you like this video? 'Cause we sure did. If you liked it, maybe you should share it with your friends. Maybe like the video and subscribe.
If we were you, that's what we would do. I mean, if I was watching this,
I'd be all over that.
Like, and I'd hit that share, and then I would hit that subscribe in that order.
Yeah. There's also another video that's popped up. YouTube thinks you like this one, so you should watch that one now.
See you next time.